Good afternoon. I want to welcome everyone here to Schenectady City Hall as we kick off what will be our 18th Homes Open House this Sunday. And we're again here today proud to have a number of our partners to talk about the things that we have done, things that we're looking to do, and again reinforcing the home ownership opportunities and the value that exists in Schenectady real estate. And I'm proud to introduce our friend, our colleague, Jaime Forero, HUD Field Office Director. He's been with us from almost day one. Thank you, sir. Welcome back to Schenectady.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So thanks for having us here today. We're happy to be here again with our partners to join in highlighting the tremendous value that's available for potential home buyers here in the city of Schenectady. So I guess we're going to see a number of properties and hear from some banks and others for the opportunities that are here. So I would just comment that in the time that I've been here, it's been a pleasure to see the partnerships and the renewed vigor with which the city, the banking and real estate partners are coming together to make these opportunities available for folks that are considering living here in Schenectady. So I just encourage you all to come out on Sunday and take a look at the homes that are available through the Homes program, and commend Mayor McCarthy and all the partners for the great work they're doing to bring Schenectady back. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jaime. Now I'd like to introduce one of the people on the front line out there every day making real estate deals and bringing people to the city of Schenectady, Mary D'Alessandro from Prudential Manor Homes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. For the past few years, the housing trend has turned and now is leaning towards an urban environment. More young professionals, retired individuals, and others are migrating to a walkable city environment. Schenectady is the recipient of this trend, for it has all the elements of what these groups are looking for. Broadway plays, a plethora of venues, new housing opportunities, and so much more. We have had, as you all know, we've had a very, very tough, long winter, so things had started out very slowly. However, there is still good news. From April 1st of this year to today, in the city of Schenectady, there are 67 real estate transactions under contract and 7 closings. This is good news. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Again, we have our partners, real estate agents, brokers, our financial partners, number of banks where we do have the ability to do conventional mortgages, 203K financing, and really fortunate where we have individuals who approach each real estate deal separately and are willing to look at a creative manner to try and create the opportunity for individuals to purchase a house and really make it a home. And I'd like to now introduce Phil Reeves with Homestead Funding and thank him and his team for their participation in Schenectady's real estate.
Hi, I'm Phil Reese with Homestead Funding, and Homestead Funding is a new partner with the City Schenectady, the City Homes program. We're excited to be a part of it. It's a program that is near and dear to me. I'm a Schenectady resident, Schenectady resident, and I'm really enthusiastic as to what Schenectady's been doing in this market lately with their residential and commercial revitalization program. We're looking to bring to the residents of Schenectady some of our rehabilitation loans, most specifically our FHA 203K and energy efficient mortgages, which are designed to allow buyers to purchase a home in an existing condition that may not be up to their standards, and they can buy that and then improve that home to the standards that they see fit to, and even help raise the value of the community. So we're looking forward to that, and we've been a partner for about 6 months now, and looking for the rest of a good year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil. Again, one of the things that we're doing for this weekend's open house is a number of the banks have come forward and are willing to pre-qualify individuals either before this weekend or actually on Sunday for the open house, so that they will be able to look for property and know that they will have the ability to have a mortgage in place to purchase that property. Now I'd like to introduce Kelly Gardner from Coldwell Banker. She has some interesting numbers for us.
Yes, thank you, Mayor McCarthy. Appreciate it. Hi, we at Coldwell Banker are thrilled to be a part of this wonderful organization. And I did want to bring some statistics too. Mary touched on the pending. We're having a bunch of open houses. There are currently today 384 active single-family homes available. Tons to pick from. 105 active two-family homes as well. And don't forget multifamily and commercial, so lots of properties to pick from. In the last year, from the 15th of last year, May, there have been 427 sold properties. Those numbers are phenomenal. People are buying in the city of Schenectady. There are right now, from year to date, including all the other properties, 151. So everybody come out, take a look at the properties that are available, talk with the lenders, and hopefully we'll have some sales. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. And so just remind people that the open houses will be this Sunday, May 18th, from noon on. Some will be open till 4 o'clock, some will be open till 2 o'clock, and you can get the full listing at the City of Schenectady website or in the home section of the Daily Gazette. I want to thank everyone for being here today, and we look forward to seeing everyone on Sunday.
Mayor, what is behind the idea of having the banks at the homes for the open house weekend?
We're trying to, again, the acronym we use, homeownership made easy in Schenectady. This is bringing an element of convenience to it, so people can go to the houses, meet with a financial institution, and go through that process so that they become pre-qualified, so that they know what they can afford, and be able to enter into serious negotiations on properties that they may like, so that they can enter into a contract and hopefully purchase a house.
So they'll actually be able to get pre-qualified or pre-approved right at the home?
Correct.
People talk about the tax rates a lot in terms of the city, but they rarely talk about the services that they get for those taxes. Can we talk a little bit maybe about maybe some of the unique services that Schenectady offers?
Taxes are too high everywhere in New York State. You know, in urban areas, they're a little bit higher. But with that, you get your garbage collection, water, sewer, state-of-the-art paramedic service, fire service. It's a whole myriad of an element of convenience you just don't get in some of the suburban locations. And so people have to do that analysis and really look at what the total package is, as opposed to what I sometimes call an overly simplistic approach to evaluating real estate costs in the city of Schenectady.
And finally, what are the plans for the homes program going forward this year?
Again, we are going to continue to do this. There's opportunity of real estate in our neighborhoods. I want to continue to market that. We've put together an impressive partnership of banks, realtors, and community organizations who are out there educating individuals in terms of the opportunity and what I believe is the long-term value to purchasing property here in the city of Schenectady. So we're going to continue to do that. We're going to do our monthly open houses. We're going to continue to work with our partners to message the opportunity and advantages of living in the city of Schenectady.
Phil Reese, Sales Manager, Homestead Funding.
How does a person decide whether they can afford to buy a house?
The best place to start is to talk to the lender that you're speaking with and bring them your credit, income, and work history, and let the lender help evaluate what you're capable of getting approved for. The three things that banks look for in order to get approval are assets, credit, and income. And all three of those have to be within certain parameters in order to get approval on a mortgage. The amount of debt or amount of income you have can dictate how much home you can be qualified for.
The Homes program is having, this weekend there's open houses, and the Homes program is having bankers there at the houses to do what they call pre-approval or pre-qualification. What is sort of the difference between those two things, and what is that process? What does pre-qualification mean?
Well, pre-qualification is when a loan originator or a representative from the bank who's in a sales capacity speaks directly with the consumer, and they evaluate their abilities and determine how much home they are qualified to purchase. That qualification is done by the person who directly speaks with the consumer. A pre-approval in the eyes of the banking department is when an underwriter who is a decision maker, the person who will infinitely approve their loan in a formal capacity, reviews their file and issues an approval. It's just subject to an actual street address.
No, now, does a person who has those do they get a piece of paper? I mean, how does that help? I mean, obviously it will help them know how much house they can afford, and so it tells them what kind of houses to look for. Is it an advantage when you're making negotiations about prices and so forth?
Yes, it's almost a requirement in the Capital District to have a pre-qualification letter. Most real estate agents and sellers will accept a pre-qualification letter from a reputable lender. Any of the lenders that are on the HOMES program would be considered reputable lenders. If it happens to be a company that someone's never heard of before, or maybe some of the online companies, they may ask for a pre-approval to make sure that there's been a second review on that loan. However, the pre-qualification is really almost mandatory to make an offer in our market, because the seller wants to know before they take the house off the market that that person can really be qualified for that property.
What kind of information, if someone decides to go to the open house and try to get a pre-approval, what kind of information should they bring with them on Sunday?
The best thing to bring is just your basic work history, income, and credit information. I know that it's a little intrusive that we ask for such private things, but things like social security number and date of birth, which we keep confidential and very securely within our systems, are all necessary to pull the credit report. It's something we can do on site, and what that will allow us to do is review that person's abilities in real time to figure out if they're qualified for that home or maybe one of the other homes that we're showing this Sunday.
And then also finally, I guess there's different types of mortgages, loan processes, programs, and could you just really kind of briefly give an idea of the different types of buying scenarios that people might come into in terms of the types of houses, or whether they're fixer-upper or so forth, and those types of different programs that they can get involved with to buy a house?
There are two distinct types of loan programs in the entire United States, and they're either private loans, which are conventional mortgages, or government-insured loans like FHA, VA, USDA. Those are all loans that are designed to allow a buyer to do something a little bit more creative. Maybe it's someone with a slightly distressed credit score, or not a lot of income in order to qualify, or they may need a loan that allows them to improve the home's current state by having a contractor come in with estimates and purchase the house and have one mortgage based on the sum of both numbers. Those are government loans. An FHA 203K would be an example of one of those rehabilitation loans. Conventional mortgages typically have the lowest costs in APR, and they're a little harder to qualify for. But that's someone who is buying a home in usually pretty decent condition to begin with. And again, that's going to give them the best terms if they come with the best qualifications.
Suzanne Phillips, Coldwell Banker.
Kelly Gardner, Coldwell Banker Prime Properties.
I just had a couple basic questions, but the first question was maybe the simplest, or maybe more complex depending on where you come from. If you decide that you're in a market or you're ready to buy a house, what are the steps? How do you start out if you've never bought a house before? What do you do?
That's a really great question. We suggest you come to the people that actually do that every day, and that's a realtor. We have websites out there, so you can search us out on websites. Referrals, if you have friends that have recently bought and had a good, transaction, seek out who they use. But definitely start with a realtor first. We can listen to your needs and what you're looking for, what areas, and then we can also guide you to a lender. What kind of financing would they be looking for? So we really literally sit down and look at all their needs.
And is that the process that most people, I read someplace that people start looking for houses at online and begin the process, but it's a good idea to contact them right at the beginning to get advice?
That is absolutely true. The statistics now are like 90% of everybody starts their search online, which is great because all the properties are online. But what do you know what you're looking for? Do you know, what price point you should be looking in? Do you know what you can afford? Do you know what the taxes are? These are things that we can help them with. So, they do start online, which is fine, but that's how we end up getting them is through our websites. So it's a great process.
Can you talk a little bit maybe specifically about Schenectady and maybe there's always talking about taxes in Schenectady, but home values in particular, is home values here and sort of the cost of living in particular about when you buy a home or other things that you think about than just the cost of the house or the tax rates?
Absolutely. If you're out looking for a home and you're comparing it to other areas, you're definitely going to get more house for the buck. Absolutely, in the city of Schenectady. If you're looking in other areas, say Niskuna, for instance, a $250,000 house is probably a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath colonial. In Schenectady, you can sometimes get it under $150,000 for the same house. So they're more affordable.
And I just want to add, Schenectady has some great neighborhoods. They're great walkable neighborhoods close to schools and parks. And if you're not interested in a suburban lifestyle where you have to get in the car to do everything, then the city of Schenectady is a great alternative